Okay. Just navigating the car park. If you wonder why I've gone quiet. Oh, I don't want to hit anybody. There's a lot of cars in this car park today. Good turnout, I suppose. It's always good in a company, isn't it? Just nipping home at lunchtime. Traffic is pretty good, so I'm hopeful it'll be a fairly straightforward event. Yeah, just looking at my fuel there. I ain't got much. I'm gonna have to put some in. I should make it home, and I'll fill up on the way back. So, the weather's lovely, it's sunny. A little bit of cloud, not a lot though. It's dry. I've just managed to spill a bit of coffee down myself from the travel mug. Yeah. But other than that, it's all good. So, yeah, gate crashing a wedding. That's what we're going to talk about today. So many years ago, it was in the 90s, I was working in Northern Ireland. I've actually been working in Galty Meats in Mitchelstown, the Republic, sort of about an hour north of Cork. And there's a few engineers congregated. We decided for one night only, one Saturday night, to be in a hotel. I think it was Ardglass or Downpatrick. I think I've been Downpatrick now. It's Downpatrick. So I had a manager flying in from the UK into Belfast Aldergrove, and there's a couple of other engineers who'll be there as well. So I drove up. I spent all day driving up. It's quite a long way from Mitchelstown. It's a bit better nowadays, but in those days the roads were terrible. And so by the time I got to Belfast Aldergrove to pick the manager up, he had quite a few pints. So anyway, that's why he wasn't driving, so I shouldn't really judge, should I? And he wasn't doing any work that evening, so basically I picked him up, and en route to the hotel, he needed to, shall we say, stop to relieve himself. He needed a wee. So anyway, he got quite irate, and I pulled in near I think it was near a farmer's field. Just stopped, literally just stopped, and he jumped out to jump over the wall. And a car pulled in behind us. It was an unmarked police car, RUC car, with two policemen in it, with guns. In those days, there was no marked police cars. All police cars in Northern Ireland at that time were unmarked. Anyway, these two policemen jumped out with guns, and I thought, oh my God, how's this going to pan out? It wasn't too bad. He got a lecture on how even urinating in a farmer's field is in public and is an offence. So after he got a full dressing down, he got back in the car and off we went. So eventually got to the hotel, met the other guys there. It was very unusual for engineers to congregate like that. I mostly worked on my own. It was very rare indeed. I suppose it was an opportunity for us all to meet up for one night. I wasn't that fussed. I'd been happy on my own, you know. But anyhow, so checked into the hotel, was relaxing in the reception, having a drink, and there was a wedding on. There was a wedding going on, and one of the guys I work with, well, he was a bit of a, I wouldn't say Jack the lad, but he was, he sort of fancied himself with the ladies. And he said, why don't we gate crash the wedding? And I said, no, under no circumstances. I've always been Mr. Sensible to a certain extent, but I do like to think these things through. And weddings can get pretty messy, can't they? So anyhow, we were drinking in the reception, and of course, a little group of, it was women, 4 or 5 women came out, obviously guests of the wedding, whatever, and they were milling around, and okay, so this guy decides to have a chat with them, and guess what? We're invited into the wedding reception. This was after the food, so there was only really drinks going, and they weren't free drinks either, so it wasn't like we was, I suppose, taking anything away from the party. But I didn't want to go in, I really didn't. So, no, it'll be great, yes, it'll be fine. So we went in, Had a few drinks and ended up sitting at a table. There was a bit of dancing going on, I think, but we ended up sitting at a table. So there was a guy to the right of me sitting next to me, and there was a guy in front of me and a guy to the left of me. The guy in front of me was my manager, and the other two guys, well, they were just engineers that I work with. And sometime during the evening, a woman came and sat down next to the guy sitting next to me, and they started chatting. Innocuous enough, I think, And I think at one point, this guy that was talking to this girl, he noticed this fella looking over from the other side of the room. Yeah, your man was wearing a suit. I remember he had very short hair, quite a hard look on him. He looked quite a tough guy now. Anyway, I think he did say to the girl, "What's he looking at?" And she said, "Oh, don't mind him, that's just my ex." Anyway, as time went on, there was definitely a feeling there was something with this guy, but I think we sort of ignored it. We were all pretty drunk. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this guy comes across the room, flying across the room, jumps on top of this poor fella, who then curled into a ball, and he was getting a bit of a punching from this lunatic. The girl started bawling her eyes out, crying and screaming, and my manager's instinct, I don't know if it was a good instinct now, he stood up and he tapped him on the shoulder, I don't know, in an attempt to get him off him. And in one swift, very smooth move, he turned this guy and he punched my manager in the face. Whack! And my manager fell down like a sack of shit. And then your man turned back and carried on punching my colleague in the back. Now, to be honest, it's all happened very quickly. It's probably taken longer for me to describe it than it actually happened. But then within seconds, two stewards with the wedding came running across. They grabbed your man, they dragged him away, and that was that really. The guy that got a bit of a beating looked fine. I had a bit of a black eye, I think, not a bad one, but he didn't look too bad. My manager, on the other hand, had quite the corker. He had a very, very big swollen black eye. And he was quite annoyed at me, if I'm honest. He was annoyed. He said to me, "Jason, why didn't you step in there and help him out, instead of you looked in the mirror?" That's one good reason. But it was very quick. And I'm sure, if it was anything serious, I feel I would have stepped up. I just felt, your man was a bit of a lunatic, and it would take and he did take two fellas to pull him off, so to speak. So the evening ended, interestingly enough, where we were sitting in the reception of the hotel with the bride, the bride's parents, me and these other lads, and sitting there drinking. And the bride was very upset. Her big day has been ruined, and all the rest of it. But it was quite interesting how the evening ended, where her parents, and especially her father, was trying to work out who we were. Because we had absolutely nothing to do with them at all. We're purely wedding crashers. But one of the guys had he was quite creative, and he said that we were with the band,